I wanted to make a video about Ixalan drafting and some of the decks I've been trying out, namely Tempo Attackers. It's a deck where you tempo your opponent out and you just keep attacking aggressively. It's blue-black. I know that there's pirates and there's dinosaurs and there's merfolk, blue-green merfolk. This is a little bit different. Basically, you're playing Shaper's Apprentice, Water Tap Weaver, Tempest Caller, One with the Wind, Storm Sculptor, Cancels, and Runaground. And also there's that 2/2 lifelink enchantment for 4 that's really good. And what you want to do is basically just, for every creature they play, you tap it out, and you're just swinging every turn, you're playing hyper-aggressive. It wants to be hyper-aggressive. As for sealed, it's not really the best deck to play, because obviously you're going to have a lot of draft picks and options. But if you're in draft and you're really looking for something to do, this deck has gone consistently for me, 3-0 and 2-1, without any problems. I've definitely had people have opposition towards this deck, and I've proved this deck multiple times to be working. It is something that you have to go into the draft kind of thinking about before you start just picking cards. The most important cards in this deck are the Water Trap Weavers for sure. Next, and then it would be Shaper's Apprentice. Get as many of those as possible. Those are commons. It shouldn't be too bad to get. Tempest Caller, if you get it, great. If you don't get it, it's still okay. Run Aground, or the one that we call Put Top for short. The Put Top card is insane. It is absolutely bonkers in this deck because it basically makes your opponent have to draw it again and play their bomb or whatever, and you're just getting so much value out of it. One with the Wind is obviously great in your 2/1 flyer, and I would say Shaper's Apprentice almost always has flying because you're playing more merfolk than you are not. If you don't have access to flying or something like that, Menace is a good ability because it's still evasion, and most of the Menace creatures in this set are pretty good. The one that explores, I think it's a 4-drop. It's pretty good. It does play a lot of cancels. Cancel is a great card because it does, again, keep that tempo from your opponent playing many different spells that are going to be removal or anything of the such. Dive Down is a great sideboard card with this deck because if they try to take your 2/1 out or your 2/2 out, or if you have an enchantment on it, they're going to try to target it, and you can just dive down and give it hexproof. It's really, really good. It's also good in trades if you have like a 4/3 lifelink flyer because you put the 2/2 lifelink enchantment on it and you block. You're always getting trades with that as well, and they can't use, again, removal with it. I have seen 2 different versions of this where you splash red and you get that deal 4 to a face or a creature. That card is really good for 5. There's no shock in a set like Revolt, so you kind of have to be creative with the removal. In white, it's really good because it's Hammer Skull, which is great for the tempo kind of theme. It plays hyper aggressive. I want to really make that a point because the math here, the deck is hard if you don't know the math. You have to constantly pushing damage. You want to play as many like 3 or 4 1-drops, either the 1/1 bat with flying, the black one that drains 4. At the end of the game, when you have 8 mana and nothing to do, they're not going to try to kill your 1/1. But then at the end of the game, it becomes relevant because now you're basically draining 4, and that drain is so good because it gives you so much more tempo back. And you just want to maintain tempo the whole time. Obviously, Tempest Caller is really good because you're tapping out the team and you can swing. But the main abilities in this deck are like utilizing the idea that you have speed and you're keeping them from playing things. And the one thing I really like is Storm Sculptor. It's really good. It's a 3/2 unblockable that pops your Water Trap Weaver back to your hand. And Water Trap Weaver is essential in this deck. It is like you need 3 or 4 of. If you get 3 or 4 of them, you should be pretty set regardless of what you play. Siren Storm Tamer is insane because then they don't want to target your creatures. They try to target 2/1. You pop the Siren Tamer. And it's also just a good aggressive 1/1 attacker. I've been playing this for the past month and a half, and I've had really good success with it. I think we're going to see this deck a lot in the upcoming sealed events and some of the PPQs. If they're not being played, it's something that I'm trying to advocate for because I think this is a little bit different than your average, dinosaur, merfolk, pirate deck. My boyfriend's been playing a lot of blue-black pirates, and that's seen a lot of success as well. He also switches colors. He also likes Water Trap Weaver. I think Water Trap Weaver is honestly a build around B. I think it's insane. I would prioritize Put Top or Run Around. I think that card is absolutely insane with tempo. It is awesome. Tempest Caller obviously is tempo. It's like literally the definition of tempo. If you get into the flash guys, the 3/3 flash flyer, it's pretty good for 5. I wouldn't play more than 1. I've tried it, and it doesn't seem like it wants to be at 2 in the deck. It only wants 1. It's a good removal piece if you don't have removal because obviously you're trading with 3/3. But it it does kind of have this like limitation where you're like, oh, it's 5, it's 5, it's 5, and you really want to be playing aggressively. So there's that limit. So I'd play one of in a deck maybe if I had the spot for it. Menace is great. It's not the best. It's okay, like I said before. And the worst card against your deck is going to be the 1/4 Fight. That card in green, that card is absolutely hard to beat. Green is just hard to beat in general. But the thing is, you're a fast start, and if they play dinosaurs, you can just cap them out. It's really awesome. The 2/3 rare is really good. It taps other creatures out. It's another thing for tempo. There's a huge tempo archetype in this set that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. Yeah, Flyers is great, obviously, but the tempo in this set is insane, and I'm advocating for it because I think it really is a competitive deck in Limited that could be played and win. I've been going 3-0, 2-0, like 2-1, like I've said. Sometimes, people be like, oh, you don't know what you're doing, and, how could you, that's a crazy deck, and it's not going to work, and then I play them, and I just, like, crush them. It's insane. So definitely if you're at FNM or you're doing a sealed, check out this deck. It is Tempo Attackers. It's really awesome. It's blue-black, and then you play all the Merfolk Tempo guys, and you just have a lot of fun. Shaper's Apprentice is, like, absolutely insane in that deck. It's like almost an A, in my opinion, in that deck. In the scope of that deck, obviously you have to, like, if you're not building a deck, I wouldn't call it an A, but in this scope of this deck, it's very good. You obviously have One with the Wind, which is just A in general in drafts in this format. I don't like this set, actually. I think that this set is kind of weak, but it has its value in the creature's abilities. The enter abilities are really good. I respect that. I'm usually in no control, and I usually play control. And in general, I want to stick with control. And sometimes, if they're like Prism and Kaladesh, I played 5-color control because control to me is like my favorite type of Magic. And this kind of has that feeling of being a control deck or mid-range deck. Yet it's so aggressive. And the key to winning with this deck is do the math and attack every turn if you can, even if it's 1 damage. So that 1 damage is going to matter. Another card that I didn't mention is the one that it's a 3-drop and 1 black, 2 colorless, and it drains 1 when it comes to play. It's a 2/2 flyer. That card is bonkers in this deck because you bounce it with the Sculptor, and then you play it again. You drain 1, or you put it on your top of your library, draw it again, you play it, and at the end of the game, you're like mostly the scores are like 5. Your life is 5, and their life is 2, or their life is 1. And so you need that 1 extra damage, and that card is awesome. It's like a C+ in this build. Definitely something to try out if you're at FNM. Tempo Attackers is a great archetype, and I think that if you play it, you'll see what I mean. It's one of those decks that you theorize about, and you're like, oh, I don't know if it works, but then I'm trying it out, and it definitely does work. So give it a shot, and let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any good success with it.